Thank you for tuning in. Facebook, thank you for tuning in. LinkedIn, thank you for tuning in. YouTube, Twitter. Hey, listen, this is going to be another exciting episode. So y'all know what it is. It's a little bit after 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. So that means we are live for another episode of Book Talk Live. My name is Ray Destin Jr. I am the founder and CEO of BOBM Publishing. Just a little bit of background on the company and myself. We are a full service publishing house that helps authors with everything they need, from getting their books done, coaching them through the process, and marketing, branding, anything you need. We got that. The last 266 authors that we've worked with have all went #1 on Amazon. So track record proven. We kind of get down and do this, right? So today is going to be a coach's edition. And if any of y'all understand what a coach's edition, it is simply this. It's just me. I'm going to be sharing some tips, some tricks with you, some things to help you, possibly help you sell more books, gain a little bit more exposure for yourself and for those out there who have been following you, who have been rocking with you. And when I get this information to you, if you apply it, you'll be a very successful author. That's the ultimate end goal, right? It's always the end goal. One thing I ask for everybody that's tuned in with me, do me a favor, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know that you're here. If you watch the replay, go ahead and leave a comment and say, hey, I'm watching the replay. Leave a like, leave a share, or leave a like and share the content. The reason that you want to leave that like and that share is we all know how these algorithms work, right? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever. The more people see that others are tuned in, that others are watching, the more they're going to tune in and kind of like, hey, what are they talking about over there? That's the end goal. We want to help people get to the top. I'm not going to sell you nothing after this program. I'm just gonna make sure that the information is golden, that it's good. And if you want to work with us, hey, by all means, reach out. We got plenty of opportunity to work with us. Today, what's going on, Ms. Nisi? I see you. Today, I'm going to talk to y'all specifically about marketing your book. Marketing your book. Now, for some, it's nothing new to understand the importance of marketing. Anybody who has ever had a business understands the importance of branding yourself, understands the importance of getting the word out there. Because if you don't get the word out there and you're waiting on somebody else, guess what? Your friends and family might not necessarily share. Your coworkers may not share. You may be a threat to the people that you think would share. And it's just that simple. So how do you market and brand yourself? There's a few things that I'll touch on with you. I'm going to go really quick through the list, and then I'm going to come back and break each one down for you, because that's what coaches are supposed to do, right? So the first one is social media. Understanding your target audience, knowing where and how to post and what to post. Creating a book tour. Why is it important to create a book tour? Because just like anything else, the more people see you, the more they want to see you, right? You don't want to wear your welcome out, but you do want to let them know that you exist. The next one is the marketing materials. What is it and what's important about the marketing materials? There's a few things that you want to include in that to make sure that your marketing materials work and get the point across. So the first thing that I'm gonna touch on with y'all is social media. How do you post on social media and build yourself a brand using social media? One of the first things is you got to know who's in your target audience. If you've been keeping up with the live videos, I went over this briefly during one of the lives. We talked specifically about your niche and your target market. So you want to know, what gender are they? What social class are they? How are they living financially? What are they interested in? What types of social media content are they consuming? The reason that all of these are important is because there's a lot more that you can narrow it down into. The more you narrow down who's in your target audience, the easier it is to market to them. And when I say the easier it is to market to them, that's when you can, all of these social media channels have different places that you can set up ads. You can set up um, specified marketing that goes directly to those people that you're looking for. When you begin to market, even on your personal page. Now, if you're on Facebook and you don't have an author page, you don't have a business page, don't have a fan page as an author, go back and create one. It is so simple. All you need is a header, you need a profile picture, and you need content. You already, as an author, you should already have a bio. Add that to the page. But it's not just on Facebook. There are other places where authors can create social media sites. I'll talk to y'all about that on a completely different day. Catch me for one of the lives during the week, and I'll break down the different social media sites specifically for authors. Right now, we're just going to talk about what are the things that you should post on social media. One of the first things that I would recommend posting are just pictures. Something as simple as a picture with a 3D image of your book, a picture of you as the author, and a quick quote and where they can purchase that book. A picture of a 3D image of the book, quick post, 3D image of the book, a picture of you in the corner, a quick paragraph or a couple of sentences of power from your book, and then lastly is where they can purchase that book. You can also just add your social media sites. But remember, your call to action for each of these social media posts is you're not just posting so that you can share content. You're posting with the hopes that people are going to come back to it and actually purchase from you. So include a 3D image of the book, a image of you as the author, a professional picture. Please, by all means, and y'all are going to laugh when I say this, but do not include a bedroom picture. What's a bedroom picture? A picture of you laying in your bed like this. And that sounds so silly, but believe me when I say I've actually had authors that have turned in professional um, professional pictures where they were laying in their beds. Don't do that to yourself. There are people out there who are watching and who genuinely want to follow you. If your book is a romance novel, that may be a different story. But if your book is a self-help or some type of book to help others, make sure it's a professional image. Make sure it's a professional picture. Picture of you smiling. We're not in high school anymore. We're not in junior high playing athletics. We're not doing the mean mugs no more. You don't have to do that. Make sure that your book, the picture that you're sharing represents yourself in a very professional way. Second type of content that you can post on social media to market yourself is video. Why video? Because a quick video of you talking about your book, a quick video of you sharing a snippet from your book, a quick video of you talking about why you wrote the book. Give people a chance to get to know the author behind the work. Because if you give them a chance to get to know you, then they have a chance to fall in love with the person who wrote this amazing content. Make sure that you, as the author, are representing yourself well. Make sure that there's a clean background, a background that represents you. If you notice, anytime I do a video, I'm sitting right here in my office. Why? Because everything behind me represents the person that I am. I am an entrepreneur. I'd rather work for myself than work for somebody else. I do have ambition. And lastly, hustle, grind, and execute. If you have been around me for even 5 minutes, you know that those are things that mean something to me. Make sure that the background represents who you are. If you don't have a lot of space, you don't have a clean background, take a small piece of a corner, and that's where you can sit and create a video. You can sit in front of just a plain white space or a plain solid color background and let that be where you're talking to your audience. Also, when you're talking about your book, you should probably have a copy of your book handy. Um, don't have any of mine in hand at this moment because they're all sitting on my bookshelf. But make sure that when you're talking about your book, you have something that represents your book so that people understand not only am I an author, but I also have books in hand. The reason for that is you want them to be able to purchase those books directly from you. Next thing is we talked about this, and Coach Erica Love had a great suggestion: doing a book discussion, doing a book review. And a book review is where you and a group of other people get together and y'all talk about the book itself. You can talk about the chapters. If you have 10 chapters, have 10 weeks of discussion or 10 days of discussion. Find out what's convenient. But as you're going through your book and you're discussing it with people, that is a chance for you to market to new people who are interested in it. And it's also a chance for you to talk to people who are specifically following you and have been following you for a while. So create a group just for discussions about your book. That group with discussions about your book, you'll find that a lot of people begin to tell other people if the content is engaging, if the content is helpful, if the content is it's not generic, it's specifically helping them in some way, shape, or form. So far, just like I said, this is just the baseline of some of the marketing stuff that you can do as a brand new author. I got plenty more tips. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take a quick commercial break. For everybody on Instagram, if you tuned in, go ahead and catch the live on Facebook or on YouTube. It's under the BOBM Publishing channel. We'll see you all shortly after a quick commercial break. Love you guys.
The BOBM family, I love y'all. You have supported me, and I don't even have words for how being in this environment has allowed me to really tap into some things that I didn't know I needed to tap into. And I thank you because you're okay with me being me. And I love people that are okay with me being me. I'm not always in the clouds. I laugh a lot. I'm kind of goofy. I'm kind of silly. But let me tell you, I'm serious about this piece right here. And I thank you for recognizing and being okay with the fact that I'm serious about this piece right here. So thank you. Thank you, Sugar Ray.
All right. We are back. We're back. Listen, if you still tuned in, thank you so much for rocking with me. Definitely appreciate it. I want to jump on the next part of this, because what we've been talking about on this is just a coach's edition, and I say just a coach's edition, but I consider these extremely special because you're getting firsthand tips directly from the coach, directly from. I know you all normally see me as the guy that's interviewing everybody else and helping everybody else get to number one, but it has to be a strategy. There's a plan behind this, right? So I'm just giving you all just a few of those tips and those strategies, and prayerfully you go back and implement them in your own strategy for marketing. Next thing that I want to touch on is the book tour. A book tour is important, right? One of my business partners said it this way, and I got to give her credit. Her birthday just passed, Miss Adrienne E. Bell. Shout out to Adrienne E. Bell and to Donald, right? Love y'all. Now, she said it this way. She said, everybody thinks that, when Michelle Obama's book came out, becoming. She just became a bestseller because she was Michelle Obama. Part of that is true, but she said something that hit me afterwards. She said there's also a work ethic that goes into it, and that work ethic that goes into it looks something like this. Most people set up one book signing, one book launch party, right? And it's where you invite your friends and your family, and you might have some food, and you might have a DJ, and you might have, like, I'm going to present my book to you, and I'm so excited because you all have joined me. Thank you so much. And then that one book signing, that one book launch, that's it. That's not launching your book. When you market your book, there are stores across this country that do what? They sell books. Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, Half Price Books, Goodies. There's Walmart, Target. The list goes on and on. But if you go into any major store, they have a book shelf. They have a shelf full of books. They have a book section where they're trying to sell authors' books. So, what's the difference between a Michelle Obama or a Will Smith or a Barack Obama or a Stephen Covey or any of these major artists, not artists, authors that are launching their book? They set up book signing dates. They set up major events where they are sitting in front of the audience and they're speaking to the audience. Michelle Obama had several events where she was sitting on stage with hundreds and thousands of people in the audience that wanted to come out and support her. There's no reason. It's clear to see how she became a New York Times #1 bestseller within the first month of her release, because she was out there in different locations. As a new author, look for those locations that allow authors to have book signings. Allow authors to have book signings. Look for the bookstores in your area. Look for the small bookstores that have a lot of consistent traffic. Look for the larger bookstores. When I first set up my initial book tour, I went to about 10 different cities across the U.S. as far as Pennsylvania and Atlanta, signing books, Missouri, right? And the thing that I did was I looked for half-price books across the country. I looked for Barnes and Nobles across the country. The reason that I was looking for these bookstores across the country is because I learned something in my local area. If you go to these bookstores, they'll set you up with a table. They'll set you up with a tablecloth. They'll actually give you book stands that you can put your books on. All you have to do is bring your banner, your books, and something that you can capture people's information. You want to capture their phone number, you want to capture their email list, and you want to capture their names. The reason that you want to do that is because long after that book signing is over, you want to be able to continue communicating with these specific people. You want to continue communicating with these people. So that is the book tour. But now, outside of just the book tour, look for opportunities to speak to organizations in those areas when you are signing your books. So let's say you set up a book signing on Saturday. Usually most book signings are going to be on the weekend if you have not built your name out yet. The reason that it's going to be on the weekend is because you want to catch the foot traffic of the average 9 to 5er. The average 9 to 5er is going to work Monday through Friday. So Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, they have a little bit more time that they can actually come in and talk specifically to you as the author. They can come in and see what it is. And they're always looking to meet new authors in their city. It means a lot if you're from Texas and you go to a book signing in Missouri, because guess what? Those people in Missouri would never have met you, but they may enjoy your book, and it's an honor and a privilege for them to meet you because you came to their city. At the same time, it's an honor for you to be able to meet new people in those additional cities as well. So continue to look for those opportunities. Your book can take you to any city in this country, any city in the world, really, if you make the connections. But since you're traveling out of town on a Saturday, now what happens on Friday? You have time. If you get there early, you may be able to speak at one of the organizations that works with your target audience. Remember, we talked about the target audience earlier. If you go and set up that speaking engagement to speak to the target audience or the organization, that's another chance for you to sell and market yourself. And again, make sure that you have your banner present. Make sure that you have marketing materials present with you. After the book signings and the speaking, make sure that you don't just set up one speaking or one book signing and then call that your tour. Look for as many as you can. I would say a minimum of 10 to 15 locations that you are looking to present to. A minimum of 10 to 15 locations. I would actually recommend looking for about 25 to 50 different locations across the country within a shorter time period. The reason that you want to have more locations in less time is because, one, you're going to keep that momentum going. Two, each audience is going to be new. And three, most authors have a 2 week to 6 week buzz before they burn out. That 2 week to 6 week buzz burns out like that because they haven't planned and prepared for the next steps. So that book tour, that book signing tour, and that speaking tour to go along with it does a lot for you. The other part of having so many locations in such a short time is that outside of it giving you multiple people that are going to meet you, it also gives you an opportunity to meet people beyond that book tour, beyond that book signing. And so once your book tour is set up, here's the thing that I do not want any of you to do. Don't be the amateur that sets up a book tour and has one location. What I want you to do is set up a book tour that has multiple locations. So when you put your flyer out, this is another piece of the marketing. When you put that flyer out about your actual book tour, you have 10 to 15 to 50 locations that are on the book tour. Don't set it up as one event at a time. Set it up and let people know that you're calling them because you're adding them to your book tour, and you want to know if you can add them on this specific date at this specific time, or find out what dates and times they have available so that you can fill your calendar. And then when you put it out there, if anybody has ever seen an artist, a musical artist flyer, they don't say, hey, we're just going to be in this city and that's it. They give you a list of cities and dates and give you a website where you can go and register for their go and buy tickets. You are in the same boat as an author. Make sure that you handle yourself as a professional when you're out there marketing yourself. And then the last part of the book tour is going to be a media tour. A media tour. What is a media tour? A media tour is when you are going to different locations, going to getting the opportunity to be on other people's podcasts, getting the opportunity to be on radio shows. You'd be surprised how many networks will actually allow you to talk about your book because they feel that it's vital. So that media tour is going to be podcast. It's going to which is video and audio only podcast. It's going to be the radio stations in different cities. When you are in different cities, find out how you can get onto the radio stations. If you can only get onto a talk radio station, that talk radio station still has listeners that want to know about events that are going on in their city, in their area. Book your chance to be on. Reach out. Those hosts are always looking for guests in the area. And don't just call in and say, "Hey, my name is so and so, and I'm going to be in the city." No. Call, see how you can get on with the actual host, because they would love to have you if it's done in a professional way. You're bringing them listeners, they're bringing you potential buyers. So it's a dual acceptance. It's a dual benefit. Both of you are benefiting each other. Also look for opportunities to be on local television stations. Local television stations. The news is always promoting different events in the city. They're always looking for it. If there is a major event going on or there's a major day, like I want to say just a few days ago, it was World Book Day. As a new author, you should be promoting yourself on those days that have something to do with your book. Your book may be about domestic violence. There's an entire month that is about domestic violence. Your book may be about Black history. We know that February is Black History Month. Your book may be about culture. Whatever your book is about, find out the different things that are going on that are in alignment with your book's topic, and share. Get on like I said, get on radio stations, get on podcasts. And if you know at least one person who has a podcast, see how you can be a guest on theirs. Ask if they know anybody else. Podcasters are always, and I do mean always, looking for guests to be on. Podcasters are always looking for guests to be on their show, because believe it or not, when you're the only person talking to the camera or talking to the microphone, sometimes that can be extremely difficult. So they're always looking for a guest that they can bounce that energy off of. So if you do happen to get a podcast, a radio, a television, a media appearance, be a good guest. Make sure that when you are on, make sure that you are energetic, make sure that you are genuine, and make sure that you're providing good information for their listeners, because that's going to go a long way into building out your continuing audience. So these are just the top two so far. We talked about the social media, things that you should do on your social media. We talked about the book tour, and the book tour with the book signings at bookstores, the speaking tour, and your media tour. So when I come back, I'm going to take a quick commercial break, probably about 2-3 minutes. And when I come back, I want to talk to you all about some marketing materials just to help you out, and then we'll close this out. So for those of you that are tuned in with me, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I definitely appreciate it. Love you guys, and we'll be back shortly. Business of Books Mastermind Coaching Program has been around for the past 3 years. Myself as a coach, we've actually helped hundreds of authors get their books published, and even more to become Amazon #1 best-selling authors. Over the past year and a half, we started our Amazon bestseller launch program, and 225 plus to date have all become #1 best-selling authors in multiple categories. Now, the reason that we started this coaching program is for people like you who you've either just started working on your first book and you don't know where to go with it. You're looking for a blueprint to creating your book. You're wondering how to market your book. You're wondering about how to connect with your audience. And most importantly, how am I going to sell this book and create income from it? These are all things that we teach you inside of 90 Days to Bestseller. The reason that this program is relevant to you is because you want to write that book and you want to be successful. Now that person may not be you. Here's the opposite. You've already written your book and you want to relaunch it as a bestseller. Been there, done that. My first book, I actually changed the cover twice for that exact same reason. The first cover, I loved it. But for some reason, after a while, it got stale. It was sitting on the shelf. So I created my own cover. Bad idea, right? The reason that it was a bad idea is because it looked like somebody was creating a network marketing flyer for my book. Went back and let a professional do it. Keyword, professional. Once that professional got their hands on my book, changed the book cover, it created a completely different vibe for my book. And here's what we've done as a result. From that change, from those slight changes, having a professional designer, going and hiring a professional editor, that book has actually launched a career for me that has taken me around the globe. And when I say around the globe, I've spoken at places all across the country and even done a few virtual international workshops here in the past few months. Now, for you, we can show you the exact same thing. We have the blueprint, we have the tools, we have the system that will work to help you get your book published and launched as an Amazon bestseller. Now, how long does it take? Typically, it takes us about 90 days. We're not going to tell you that it's going to be overnight. We're not going to tell you that it's going to be easy, but we will tell you that we have a blueprint that works, and you should be next. All right. We are back. So for those of you who are tuned in, once again, definitely appreciate it. And the last thing I'm going to touch on, we've been talking about marketing. We talked about a little bit of your social media strategy. We talked about a little bit of the book tour strategy. And the last is the marketing materials. That's what we're going to touch on. So for most people who are marketing themselves as authors, this is the mistake that I've seen. And I've seen it time and time again. People market themselves as authors, and then they go out and get all these additional things to start marketing themselves. They haven't sold more than 100 books, and yet they're getting branded t-shirts. They're getting branded hats. They're getting branded. You don't need all that. If you're an author, market yourself as an author. Keep it simple for the people who are looking to connect with you. One of the first things that I would say is make sure that you have a banner. And when I say a banner, I'm talking a standing banner that sits behind you, because that banner does a lot of the work for you. What should be included in your banner? Probably a picture of you. If you have a picture of you in action, speaking or reading your book, put that on the banner. Next thing is going to be your name. Your name. Why is your name important? Because you are the author. If you're the author, then people want to know who this person is. Next should be your credentials. If you are a published author, then put it on there. Published author of, and at some point you'll put your books. If you are a bestseller, put the fact that you're a bestseller on there. If you are a motivational speaker, add that to the banner. If you're a number one best-selling author, put that on the banner. The next thing that you'll need to have is a website where people can actually purchase the books from you, or to follow the information about your books. The reason that website is there is because you want them to be able to go back to this specific website and find more information about you. It's not necessarily true that Facebook is going to be around forever. It's not necessarily true that Instagram is going to be. These social media platforms have blackout days where they do not work. You want to have a place where people can actually go and find you outside of social media. The next thing that you want to include on there is a picture of the book. It sounds redundant, but it's obvious. You need to have a picture of the book. Why would you have a book banner that does not have a picture of the book? Next is a brief description. Usually the description that you have on Amazon is good enough. That is something, it's a description. What is this book about? include that on the banner. And the last thing that I would include is, or the last two things that I would include is a list of places where that book is. Where can people purchase this book from? Can they purchase it on Amazon? Can they purchase it on BarnesandNoble.com, Walmart.com, Google Play, iBooks? There's a lot of different places out there that actually will sell your book. What that does is it gives you credibility as an author. The more of these small places that people, not small places, but these icons that people see, the more credibility it gives you as a published author. You're not just saying you're published. People are going to look and say, oh, we can find your book in these locations. And the last thing that I always like to include in the last thing that I always like to include in the banner is something as simple as either the website to purchase the books or a QR code for them to scan and purchase it immediately. The fact that they can scan and purchase your books immediately gives them, it takes away all the guesswork. And when I say scan and purchase it immediately, don't send them to Amazon to purchase your book. If you want them to purchase your book directly from you, put a link directly to where they can purchase it straight from you. That money goes into your account. That way you can get their books to them immediately. And if you're standing right there with them, they scan it. Why would they buy the book on Amazon and you give them a book that you have available? So make sure that it makes sense, right? Next thing is something as simple as bookmarks. Bookmarks are people, if somebody's reading your book, one of your books, have a bookmark that includes multiple books on it, right? The fact that they have all of your books on one place, it may be a chance for them to go back and look for more from you. Those bookmarks are simple, takes less than 5 minutes to create, but it can make a huge difference in the mind of the reader that's reading your book. Postcards, a simple postcard of thanks for new readers. When someone orders your book, have a postcard with your books on there that has a list of other books available for them to purchase from you. The reason that you want to have all of these things in place as marketing materials is because even though they purchased one book, they may want information on other books that are coming in at different times. They may have enjoyed that first book so much that they are going to go back and purchase the other books that you've written. And another way to market your book is inside of your book. And I'll give you a really quick, if you look at the back of this book, one was a course that I was doing, still do, and two is additional books from me. The reason that I include those in every last one of those books that I have is because if you enjoyed reading something that I wrote, why not take a peek at something else that I've written? It just makes common sense, right? So like I said, this was just a brief overview of the different things that you can use to market yourself, that you can use to get your name out there as a new author. There's so many more tips and tricks available for you, but I wanted to give you all something that would be enough to help you along this journey and help you get your name out there in front of the right people, so that your career as an author is not just a beginning career. You're not just a new author, but you're a successful author. I've done this multiple times for personal books. These are all the personal books that I've written, and included in that is my son's book. Son wrote this book when he was 7 years old. We didn't get it published until he was 9. So one of the first youth authors out there that I know. With that being said, listen, you guys are amazing. I love the opportunities to connect with you all. We're doing some historic things over here at BOBM Publishing. And listen, until next time, love you guys, and we will see you next time. So, yeah. if my mouse wants to act right. All right. Love you guys. Hey, mama. Love y'all.